Most of us have a ton of stress in our lives. So my friend and health and wellness coach, Lynell Ross, is going to take her entire stress management seminar and condense it for us in this conversation into 8 simple steps. Welcome to Happiness Adventure. I'm Lisa, and together we'll explore ways to cultivate real joy in our lives. You teach an entire course on stress management, and you have 8 principles for reducing stress. First of all, how did you come to teach these seminars?
I was teaching lifestyle management as a diabetes prevention program instructor, a lifestyle instructor. We cover nutrition, then we would cover exercise, and then stress management was such a big part of helping people reduce their diabetes. And I just loved it. And I realized how many people were under stress and not talking about it. So I just kept taking more courses and getting more certifications so that I could learn to teach it, because it's such an important part of what's going on with people's health.
So I don't know anyone who couldn't do with some stress reduction. What's the first step?
The first step is just a simple one. It's, well, simple, but not easy. It's managing our time. And with all that everybody has going on, depending on who they have in their life, whether they're married or have children or aging parents or kids, co-workers, we all have people that we interact with. So this is where it becomes difficult for people. But if we know what we need for our own self-care and we write that down, plot that into our week first, and then add in the other things, then we're able to better manage our stress level and take care of ourselves. So managing your time is number 1.
Yeah, it seems like time is one of the biggest stressors for most people, just running from thing to thing.
Exactly.
Okay, and what is step 2?
So step 2 is just write down everything that's on your mind that you think you need to do. Because if it's jumbled and it's just swirling around in our head, then it's going to sound very unorganized. We are just going to run from going to thing instead of having some kind of an organized fashion. We write everything down. We can see it on paper. We can see what's really important, what needs to get done. And then what's really great is if you can take some things off that list. Because if you're like me, you want to do so many things. I'm very enthusiastic. I want to do everything. I say yes to everything. And then what winds up happening is I don't do the best job that I can. Maybe I let people down. I put pressure on myself. And then as part of that, I learned is to ask for help. So that was a big one for me. And when I learned to ask for help, it really took some of the pressure off myself.
Exactly. And what is step number 3?
Step number 3 is put your health on the list. When I work with my clients, I don't want to say I would trick them, but I'll ask them what's important to them, and I'll have them list all their things. And then at the end, I'll say, you didn't even have health on your list. And it never is. People forget about it. Eating healthy meals, setting time aside for exercise, setting time aside to be quiet and reflect. So once I begin working with my clients and they put their health on the list, that becomes a really high priority, which physically takes care of them so that they can feel mentally more sound to make better decisions. Okay, so number 4 is deep breathing. A lot of us go through a whole day, you don't even know it, but you're holding your breath, or we're shallow breathing, or you're typing on the computer because you got to get something done and we're just breathing up here. Where if we could take the time to just stop and take 1 or 2 or 3 deep breaths in and hold it and out, it actually changes our nervous system. It calms down our sympathetic nervous system. And if somebody says something to you, you're going to react to something. Just breathing alone can allow you to have the time to think more clearly and calm yourself down before you react.
Yeah.
Breathing is one of the healthiest things that we can do. And we breathe wrong all day long instead of breathing deeply.
Step 5 is about sleep. So tell me why that's important for stress management.
Gosh, yeah, there's more and more research showing how important it is that we get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. And even teens need more than that. And if you go night after night with less than 7 hours sleep, they're saying it's similar to almost being drunk or impaired. And a lot of the population is walking around like that with not enough sleep lately because we stay up too late. We stay up on our computers, technology. And our brain needs a chance to wind down so the melatonin can kick in. It takes about 2 hours before you want to get that good sleep. So you want to start turning down the lights in your house. What you eat has a lot to do with your sleep. If you're eating big, heavy, rich meals late at night, it can cause heartburn. And so we want to start eating earlier in the evening and allowing our food to digest.
So number 6 is be grateful. Why is that on the list for stress reduction?
Yeah, I think it actually changes the way we think and feel. You can be thinking about something and tend to look at the negative and, oh my gosh, I wish this were different, or I wish that were different, and then it starts to make you unhappy. But turning it around and being grateful for what you have in that moment changes your, like I said, changes your physiology, it changes your mental picture. If I start to be grumpy about something, I'll think, well, why should I be grateful for this? So it's actually changing how I move throughout my day. I'm looking at something, I put a log on the fire this morning and I actually looked at the piece of wood and said, I'm so grateful for this wood, and we have a wood stove and it brings fire into the house. And instead of complaining about that I have to make the fire. So gratitude changes everything, really does.
That's so neat. What is step 7?
So it's respond, don't react. And I think so many of us, we're on full speed. We're going throughout the day. Somebody says something. Somebody cuts us off in traffic. We are waiting in line to pick something up. So we just react to someone else. But if we're more grounded in ourselves, then when something comes at us, we can choose how we want to respond rather than being knocked off base and reacting to someone else.
And step 8, our final step, what is that?
Yeah, so it's remembering to take breaks throughout the day. So we've been talking about the mindfulness, but I know people that work and they're in really fast-paced jobs. How can you remember to do that? Sounds crazy. Oh, I'm going to be mindful of looking at my coffee cup when I have this huge deadline. Well, some things that you could do, like in an office environment, are taking a 5-minute break out of every 55 minutes throughout the day. And even if you can't leave your workstation, you could stand up. You can move a little bit. You could take the phone call standing up. We aren't all chained to our desk. So just remembering something simple like 5 out of 55, or closing your eyes for 20 seconds every 20 minutes. These are ways to take small mini breaks. And as I was saying earlier, maybe eat your meals quietly, or not rushing through things.
Well, this is such an amazing list. So thank you so much for sharing such a wonderful program for reducing stress. We just heard from certified health and wellness coach Lynell Ross, 8 simple steps for reducing our stress. And in the description box right below this video is the link to Lynell's book, Health Coach Wisdom, as well as the link to her website. And she is such a wise woman, so be sure to check those things out. In the comment section, please let me know, was there one of those 8 steps that most resonates with you as something that's a challenge for you or that you want to work on? It is a joy to be on this journey with you, so subscribe to be notified when we upload a new video, and I look forward to seeing you soon for our next happiness adventure.